Hey yo guys, JBZ here with some Mecha Break news. I wanted to cover over some of the main points of the AMA stream they did on June 9th. And honestly, a lot of it is very promising changes. I'm not going to say like where that's going to lead right now or, just based off of other games. It's always good to wait till full release to see what they really do or if they might do some last minute changes, but I think this is set in stone. So starting with some of the smaller points, character creation got more detailed parameter options, which is always good, giving us more ways to express ourselves in these type of games. I think is a plus. There's no end to that, and it's really, really nice. And on top of that, for a lot of us that have played the beta, or even if you haven't played the beta, because I know a lot of us don't like doing tutorials, they do have an option of whether you can pick the tutorial mode, and it's going to take you through there, show you the ropes, or there is just a veteran mode, and it will shoot you straight to the game. And you can skip all that, join all your friends, or just have fun climbing the ladder. And on top of that, they took away, in a good way, the credit system. But with this, they introduced what's called mission tokens. And mission tokens will be used, from what I did see in the live stream, to unlock pretty much majority of everything. Because all 12 mechs at the start, from launch, from the get-go, are going to be available to you now. Before, you had to use the credits to unlock them, and that would take some time. So you'd only have maybe 2 or so mechs, at least within the first hour of play, and then you'd have to keep going getting them. Now you don't have to worry about that. All that grinding is gone. Now, I'm not sure about future suits. I'm not even sure about Inferno, to be honest. If Inferno's included in that, that would be great. Because my main is Inferno. I love Inferno. But for the time being, I am not certain if we will be using mission tokens to purchase the new mechs, or if the mechs are just going to be handed to us and we get to work with them. That we will have to see. Now, on top of that, also what's been unlocked is all of the modes. Mashmak, 3v3, and 6v6 are all unlocked from the start as well. So whatever your preference, I'm more of a 6v6 type, but I will be trying all modes for the purpose of content, and I am kind of curious about it. And lastly, the achievement point system that they have been going on about has now been revamped to just be used to get profile display add-ons. So if you wanted to display how many kills you got, or maybe, I don't know, how many games you want, any of those like little achievements, it's the new achievement system, and that's all the points will be used for. Now, going into the major, probably the biggest change they talked about in this live stream is Mashmak itself. And this is huge because there's probably going to be a split audience to this. And the reason is the biggest first change that is coming to this game, and to this game mode specifically, is that mods are only usable in Mashmak now. Before, mods were universally used in any mode. And of course, if any of you were playing the beta, or even if you didn't, it was just little things like engine thrusters, or your weapon does more damage, GBO2, something like that. But in this case, it is all only going to be for Mashmak now. It's not in 3v3. It's not in 6v6. So when you're running your ranked games in those other modes, it's just bare bones your skill. And that's where the mixed take, I think it is, because some people don't believe there's an issue, especially if you're running in like ranked mode with mods, right? They're not major changes, but it does make a slight difference, especially like something like thrusters. So one of the things that they're doing, besides mods being the only thing in Mashmak, is that the progression system was removed from Mashmak. So you can't configure airdrop content. Before, that was a thing, and you could create your loadout, you could bring in what you wanted, certain weapons, gear, things like that. That is no longer the case. They essentially transformed this mode to, if you guys have played Tarkov or any of those type of extraction shooters, this is pretty much going to become the extraction mech mode. I have not really delved too deep into those kind of modes, so I will have to give you my basis on it when the game comes out, as I will be trying this mode as well. One of the first key changes they did is that anything you bring into Mashmak, you can be dropped, including mods and weapons. So this goes back to the extraction shooter example, and that weapons no longer require upgrades. So once you do get a weapon in Mashmak, it's yours. You can just use it right away. Before, there was a level up system and you could increase it, and that's really what set people apart, because some people would have a maxed out weapon and you're over here using a Mark 1 version of whatever that is. There's going to be a huge difference. Not in this case, not anymore. The way they're going to do this is they separated it, and they have the free-for-all mode and the co-op modes. Now, that's always been a thing that was in the beta, that's fine, but now they added 3 difficulties. So they have normal, hard, and extreme. The way they're going to separate you to this, and this is where you go from a beginner player like me, who is probably going to spend a lot of time in normal to get an understanding of things, versus people who can go into hard and extreme, because normal and hard will be determined by combat gear score. So whatever your loadout is, that will determine which bracket you're going into. So if you have this really decked out glider and weapons and all that, and your combat score is way up, you're not going to be able to queue into normal mode, which means you can't bully new players like me, which is fair. But then you do have hard mode, that is when you're more geared up and you have the necessary gear requirements, which they do list out on the stream, but I'm not going to go into full detail right now. The interesting thing is extreme is going to be the free-for-all, where anybody can go in from beginner to veteran. And that's more of the no handlebar, it's your choice going. Now, obviously the rewards are going to be way better than normal and hard. Very obvious, but the stakes are higher. So I do think the extraction shooter veterans are going to have a field day in extreme. But if you want to take it down that way, you can. They did add different weapon types and new things that suits can use. Like they had this really cool moment in there where Lumine was using a Welkin axe. That wasn't in the beta. So them adding different weapons for other mechs to use is really, really cool to see. By the way, they also showed off the new boss from the trailer that they've released for the launch trailer for July 1st, and we got a name for it. It's called the Hellcat. I think that design looks extremely cool. The other thing is that gliders are one-time use now, so they don't have an upgrade system. You can make a sniper version, melee version, there's a medium range version. They got all different types of gliders. Fits for everybody, and you're just going to have to keep upgrading them, which you're going to get the materials from extracting. So you can always make more gliders anyway. And that was the biggest changes to Mashmak that we've seen. Now, again, they're going to go more in depth on June 23rd. So this is coming up. There's going to be another part 2 of this AMA. And I believe they're going to go into more details about the bosses and like extra details about Mashmak. But I think Mashmak is the main focus here. Even though there are the other modes, they're pretty self-explanatory. I think Mashmak would be the one everybody wants to see live examples of and what you can do in things in game. Because the 3v3 and 6v6, that's your typical Valorant, Overwatch type of format. You know, everybody picks their mech, you do your thing, get objectives, push quarters. Sure, they could show gameplay of that, but we don't need to see more of that unless they added something interesting on that side as well. And then they did have a part at the ending, which if you guys would like to check that out, definitely I would. The live stream was very enjoyable. It was worth checking out. But they did mention that hangers will be able to invite friends. And from the sound of it, if I heard them correctly, we might be able to customize our hanger later down the line to our liking. I don't know if that involves moving things around and whatnot, but that does sound pretty neat. They did add more floors to the hangar, so the hangar got even bigger than last time. And one of the second most important announcements is that 2 new mechs were introduced. We have a mech called Stellaris, which to me just reminds me of a samurai mech. And it's got a really cool execution. I thought that was really nice with the rope touch. And not only that, we have a support resource mech called Serenith. Now this one, I definitely want to look into. The playstyle looks interesting. Inferno will always be my number one, forever and always. But, you know, we got to have other mechs down the line here. And this one kind of caught my eye. But they call it a support resource mech. And I want to know what that entails. Because resources means, like, are we going to be able to get our boosters back faster? Is our cooldowns for our abilities going to go down, right? I feel like it's going to lean towards cooldowns, most likely. You might be able to run your management a little bit faster while having Serenith on your team. But again, we'll go over more coverage when the game fully comes out July 1st. I just wanted to get a bit of a kickstart and produce some video content for you guys and let you know that I'm very excited to produce Mecha BREAK content, and I hope to see you guys in future videos. But for now, that's what I wanted to touch up on. And until the next video, I will see you guys next time.